A new car purchase isn't always going to be a logical one. There's got to be an emotional element that really pulls you into putting down that big down payment, making that financial commitment. This truck has that emotional element. This is the 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Every time I get a chance to drive a Toyota TRD product, I just get excited. There's just something about it that I know it's not necessarily the best in all situations. It's big, it doesn't get great fuel economy, it's old school, it doesn't have nearly the safety equipment and features that a lot of the other trucks have in this class. But there's just that emotional element. It's just so cool. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor. Let's go check out this 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Got it here in this army green paint color, even though you can barely tell we got it so dirty. It features a fairly plain but straightforward and easy to use interior. Nice red and chrome accents. And one weird thing about this full Crew Max Toyota Tundra is all this space inside. Now most crew cab trucks have a lot of room, but this one, there are acres back here. And it's almost like, why do I need all this space, especially when I've got a 5.5-foot bed behind me? I'd much rather have a little bit more bed space and a tad bit less legroom back here. On top of that, there's only a 112-volt outlet back here. No USB ports, only 2 cup holders, and the cup holders are only accessible when you fold down the center armrest. There are cup holders in the door, but that doesn't work really well for different sorts of drinks. It's best to have good, easy to get to, open cup holders. So definitely some compromises in the back of the Tundra, but the seats are really comfortable back here. There's a nice recline to them. And like I said, tons of legroom if that's really important for you. I really appreciate the air vents. I know it sounds silly, but they're so easy to move, easy to get exactly where you want, position, or you can just close them. It's a design that's not brand new, innovative, or anything. Ford had them on the 2005 F-150, but they just work, and I appreciate Toyota not screwing with them. All the controls are well laid out. The steering wheel controls are easy to make sense of and operate. You are missing blind spot monitoring from this truck, which is something that I wish Toyota would have included. They've got radar cruise control, which is fine if it's something you really like using, but I really wish, especially in a large vehicle like this, you would get blind spot monitoring. Heated seats are nice and they work well. Wish there were a heated steering wheel. A lot of the materials, even though there are plastics around, they don't feel like cheap, flimsy type of plastics. It feels sturdy, it feels like it's gonna last for a long time. None of it creaks or rattles. It all feels good, looks good. I could do without the chrome, especially when you're driving around and the sun reflects in your eyes. That's a little frustrating. I do like this little center compartment here. Good place to set your phone or any other sort of stuff. You can kind of go phone there, you go phone up here. You could go phone down here, however it's hard plastic and slippery, so if you take a sharp left turn, your phone goes sliding out. Ask me how I know. I appreciate that these visors come out and then slide. Something that's subtle but very helpful. There's no grab handle on the driver's side, so when you're climbing in, you kind of have to use the steering wheel as a handle, and that's frustrating. I also like when vehicles have handles up here so I can kind of rest my arm on them as I'm driving. Can't do that in the Tundra. That exhaust is always there, always just plop, 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 plop. Lean into it. And again, it sounds cool, but at the same time, it's like there would be times when you'd like to turn it off. The Tundra is really straightforward. There are no big surprises here on the inside, nothing that really wows you in a positive way or in a negative way. All right, let's hop onto the highway and see how this thing handles at speed. What do you think about this TRD exhaust?
You know, I think there are plenty of times where I would like it, but there are also plenty of times, like just like right there, you know, if it's a late night and I'm just trying to get home from work, then I might get kind of a little bit sick of it. Just being like so rumbly and so just kind of loud getting up to speed.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice when you're kind of putzing along and taking off, it sounds really good and rumbly, but like when I was towing with this vehicle, it was kind of like it was just, you're always hearing it strong coming in, and even just kind of cruising along here at 75, it's just always kind of there. Not too bad with wind noise here on the highway, but there is this annoying high-pitched, almost whistle type sound. I don't know if the microphones are going to be able to pick it up. It's subtle, but it's not just this Tundra that does it. The other Tundra that we drove, the Supercharged 2015, also made the same sound, and initially I thought it was maybe something from the Supercharger or something like that, but no, this Tundra does it too. And when you're just cruising along under any load, you hear this kind of high-pitched whooshing whistling sound, and it gets a little annoying. Visibility's good. You can see around everyone. I mean, it's not a surprise being a tall, lifted up truck like this, but it is nice to be able to see around people, even if my tank average right now for fuel is 12.5 miles to the gallon, which I will say has had a good amount of idling and towing, so you could probably get 14 mixed. I do like the interior layout. I think everything makes sense. I do kind of wish this shifter area were just a column shifter, or maybe like a rotary. I mean, like, even if you don't particularly care for the Ram's rotary knob, it keeps it out of the way, so that you get this whole center area to do stuff with. The Ram has an awesome area where you can put your phone and wireless charging, all sorts of things. Other than where the shifter is, I like this layout. I think it's very smooth and easy to drive on the highway. It's not tracking around anywhere. I will say that with these Fox shocks, it doesn't filter out the small bumps very well. There have been quite a few times where I've kind of felt like we're whooshing up and down quite a bit. And that's been a bit frustrating. But so yeah, it's not the smooth ride of a Ram with the air suspension or anything, but it's trucky. It feels like we're driving around an old school truck. You feel a sense of, I don't know if I want to go as far as to say entitlement driving the Tundra TRD Pro around, but you just kind of feel a little bit cooler than everybody else. You're sort of just like, yeah, I'm sitting taller than you, I've got more power than you, I'm louder than you. And by no means are you the tallest, loudest, or fastest vehicle on the road, but you're well above the mean, and that seems to be enough. Let's park this here and take one more look at the big green beast. Got it nice and dirty, that's for sure. It means you're using it right though, right? Definitely a vehicle that speaks to your emotions. But there's a level of practicality to it as well. It's not necessarily going to be the best in fuel economy, but in terms of overall cost of ownership and way it makes you feel, it's really hard to go wrong with Toyota Tundra. And this TRD Pro spec is a top dog. Thanks for coming along with us. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor. If you liked the video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Drive on.